Have you ever watched someone stay completely calm during a crisis while everyone else falls apart? Or noticed how some people bounce back from devastating setbacks while others remain stuck for years? What's their secret? It's not luck. It's not genetics. And it's definitely not some kind of magical thinking. It's mental strength, a skill that anyone can develop with the right approach. I'm David, and 7 years ago, I was the definition of mentally fragile. When my business failed and my relationship ended in the same month, I spent weeks barely able to function. My confidence was shattered, my anxiety was through the roof, and making even small decisions felt impossible. Today, I help executives, athletes, and everyday people develop unbreakable mental resilience. And in this video, I'm sharing the exact 5-step system that transformed my life, techniques that are backed by neuroscience and that I've now taught to thousands with remarkable results. If you've tried positive thinking, generic meditation apps, or vague advice like just be more confident with little success, this is going to be different. I'm going to show you concrete practices that rewire your brain's actual response to challenges. No fluff, no philosophy, just practical steps you can implement today. And make sure you stay until the end, because the 5th technique is something I've never shared publicly before. It's the advanced strategy that my private clients call their secret weapon for maintaining mental strength even in extreme situations. Before we dive into the techniques, we need to clear up a major misconception. Mental strength is not about being tough all the time or suppressing your emotions. True mental strength is about having flexibility and control over your responses, not about never feeling negative emotions. In fact, research from Harvard's Department of Psychology shows that acknowledging difficult emotions actually leads to better psychological outcomes than trying to suppress them. Mental strength has 3 core components. First, cognitive control, the ability to direct your thoughts rather than being controlled by them. Second, emotional regulation, the skill of experiencing emotions without being overwhelmed by them. And third, behavioral discipline, consistently taking effective action despite internal or external resistance. Why does traditional advice fail so many people? Because it typically addresses only one of these components, often focusing on positive thinking alone. But positive thoughts without emotional processing and consistent action create what psychologists call toxic positivity, a fragile mental state that collapses under real pressure. The techniques I'm about to share address all 3 components, creating genuine, lasting mental strength. And they work whether you're dealing with work stress, relationship challenges, health issues, or simply wanting to perform better in your daily life. The first technique is what I call the pattern interrupter method. Our brains create neural pathways that strengthen with repetition, especially for stress responses and negative thought cycles. This technique physically disrupts those pathways. Here's how it works. Step 1. Identify your typical stress response. Do you spiral into worst-case scenarios? Do you freeze and become unable to make decisions? Do you lash out? Everyone has their pattern. Step 2. Create a physical pattern interruption that's impossible to ignore. This could be snapping a rubber band on your wrist, splashing cold water on your face, changing your physical position dramatically, using the 5-4-3-2-1 sensory technique where you name things you can see, touch, hear, smell, and taste. Step 3. Immediately engage in 60 seconds of alternative focused thinking. This could be solving a simple math problem, describing an object in detail, or reciting a memorized text. Anything that demands full cognitive attention. The science behind this is fascinating. When you interrupt a neural pathway and immediately direct your brain elsewhere, you're literally creating new neural connections. A 2022 study in the Journal of Cognitive Neuroscience showed that regular pattern interruption combined with directed attention can reduce automatic stress responses by up to 63% after just 3 weeks of practice. One of my clients, a surgeon who used to experience debilitating anxiety before complex procedures, now uses a specific hand pressure point combined with mental arithmetic as his pattern interrupter. He reports that his surgical performance improved dramatically once he gained control over his pre-procedure anxiety. I recommend practicing this technique 3 to 5 times daily, even when you're not stressed, to strengthen the neural pathway of interruption and redirection. Think of it as a mental emergency brake that you're installing in your brain. The second technique builds your psychological endurance through what I call controlled discomfort training. Mental strength, like physical strength, develops through progressive challenge. This technique involves deliberately exposing yourself to manageable discomfort in controlled situations. Research from the University of California shows that deliberately experiencing controlled discomfort activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for resilience and emotional regulation. Here's how to implement this technique effectively. First, identify low-risk discomfort activities that push you slightly beyond your comfort zone. These might include taking cold showers, having difficult but necessary conversations, public speaking in low-stakes environments, attempting challenging physical activities. The key is choosing activities that are uncomfortable but not traumatic. We're aiming for the growth zone, not the panic zone. Second, practice mindful observation during these activities. Instead of trying to escape the discomfort, observe your physical sensations, thoughts, and emotional responses with curiosity. Third, gradually increase the intensity or duration of these challenges as your tolerance grows. One of my clients, an executive with severe public speaking anxiety, began by recording herself speaking for just 30 seconds. She gradually increased this to speaking in front of one colleague, then small groups, tracking her anxiety levels throughout. Within 3 months, she was comfortably presenting to groups of 50-plus people. Remember, the goal isn't to become comfortable with specific discomforts, it's to become comfortable with discomfort itself, building confidence in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. The third technique addresses one of the most common obstacles to mental strength: getting trapped in narrow, emotion-driven perspectives. The perspective shift protocol is a structured cognitive exercise that rapidly expands your mental viewpoint during challenging situations. Here's the process. Step 1. When facing a difficult situation, ask yourself, how would I view this situation if it happened to someone else? This creates immediate emotional distance. Step 2. Consider multiple time frames. How will I feel about this in 1 week, 1 month, 1 year? This reduces the intensity of in-the-moment emotions. Step 3. Examine the situation through at least 3 different interpretive lenses. The growth lens: what can I learn from this? The strategic lens: what opportunities might this create? The compassionate lens: how would I advise a friend in this situation? This protocol is based on cognitive flexibility training used by elite military units and high-performance athletes. A fascinating study from Stanford University showed that people who regularly practice perspective shifting have greater activity in their anterior cingulate cortex, the brain region responsible for adaptive decision-making under stress. Let me share a personal example. When I lost a major client that represented 40% of my income, my initial reaction was panic and self-doubt. Using the perspective shift protocol, I first imagined how I'd view this if it happened to a colleague. I'd probably see it as a temporary setback and an opportunity to diversify. Looking at different time frames, I realized that while the next few months might be challenging, a year from now this could actually lead to a more stable business model. Through the growth lens, I identified that I'd become too comfortable with my business structure. Through the strategic lens, I saw an opportunity to pursue clients in a new industry I'd been interested in. And through the compassionate lens, I reminded myself that one client leaving wasn't a reflection of my overall value or capabilities. This complete perspective shift transformed my response from panic to productive planning within about 20 minutes. And the business decisions I made as a result actually led to higher revenue within 6 months. The fourth technique is the mental rehearsal framework, a structured visualization practice that prepares your brain for challenging situations before they occur. This isn't just about visualizing success. What makes this technique powerful is that it deliberately incorporates obstacles and recovery strategies. Here's how to implement it effectively. Step 1. Identify an upcoming challenging situation. Step 2. Spend 5 minutes visualizing the ideal execution of this situation in vivid sensory detail. What you'll see, hear, feel, and even smell. Step 3. Now introduce realistic obstacles. What could go wrong? Visualize these obstacles occurring. Step 4. Most importantly, visualize yourself responding effectively to these obstacles, implementing specific recovery strategies, and ultimately succeeding despite challenges. This technique has been used by Olympic athletes for decades, but recent neuroscience research explains why it's so effective. When you mentally rehearse both success and recovery from setbacks, you're actually creating neural pathways that your brain can access during the real event. A groundbreaking study in the Journal of Cognitive Enhancement found that subjects who practiced mental rehearsal that included obstacles and recovery had significantly lower cortisol responses when actually facing those challenges compared to subjects who only visualized perfect success or who did no visualization at all. I recommend implementing this technique before any situation where you want to perform at your best. Whether that's a job interview, difficult conversation, public presentation, or even a challenging workout. My client, a professional tennis player, uses this technique before every match, visualizing not just winning points but also how she'll respond if she falls behind or faces unexpected challenges like dubious referee calls or changing weather conditions. She reports that this practice makes her feel mentally prepared for anything, significantly reducing match anxiety. And now for the advanced technique I promised, something I typically only share with my private clients. I call it the decision matrix, and it's a powerful tool for maintaining mental clarity during emotionally charged situations. When we're under stress, our decision-making abilities are often compromised by emotional reactivity. This technique creates a structured framework that bypasses those limitations. Draw a simple 2x2 matrix. The vertical axis represents impact, high to low, and the horizontal axis represents control, high to low. Now, when facing any challenging situation, break it down into its component parts and place each element into one of the 4 quadrants. High impact, high control, priority actions. High impact, low control, contingency planning. Low impact, high control, quick wins. Low impact, low control, let go. For instance, if you're dealing with a major project failure at work, you might place meeting immediate client needs in the high impact, high control quadrant, management's perception in the high impact, low control quadrant, and so on. This matrix does something remarkable. It transforms overwhelming situations into organized, actionable frameworks. By categorizing elements based on impact and control, you create immediate clarity about where to focus your mental and physical energy. The power of this technique is that it works even when you're already in an emotionally heightened state. It provides a concrete structure that your logical brain can follow even when your emotional brain is activated. I've seen this technique help clients make clear-headed decisions during divorce proceedings, business crises, health scares, and countless other high-stakes situations where mental strength is absolutely essential. Now that I've shared these 5 powerful techniques, let's talk about implementation. Mental strength isn't built overnight. It requires consistent practice and integration into your daily life. Here's a simple 30-day implementation plan. Week 1. Focus on mastering the pattern interrupter method. Practice it at least 3 times daily, even in non-stressful situations. Week 2. Add controlled discomfort training, choosing one small discomfort to practice daily while continuing with pattern interruption. Week 3. Incorporate the perspective shift protocol and mental rehearsal framework into your routine, using each at least once per day.
Week 4. Begin using the decision matrix for any challenging situations while continuing the other practices. Remember, mental strength isn't about never feeling stressed or anxious. It's about having effective tools to manage those experiences and move forward productively despite them. The techniques I've shared today have transformed my life and the lives of thousands of my clients. They've helped people overcome anxiety, build confidence, improve performance, and develop the resilience to handle life's inevitable challenges with grace and effectiveness. If you found value in this video, please hit that like button. It helps others discover these techniques who might really need them. And if you're serious about building mental strength, subscribe to the channel for weekly videos on practical psychology and high performance. Let me know in the comments which technique resonated with you the most or what specific challenges you're working to overcome with mental strength. I read every comment and use your feedback to create future content. For additional support, I've created a free mental strength workbook that walks you through each of these techniques in more detail. You can download it using the link in the description. Remember, becoming mentally strong isn't about being perfect. It's about having the tools to recover quickly when life knocks you down. You already have everything you need to build extraordinary mental strength. Now it's just about putting these techniques into practice. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.